Greetings. You're listening to the official Flourish Media podcast with Flourish Media founders Vivian Olodun and Dr. Tracy Timberlake. Listen in for marketing training and development tips from two ladies called the leaders in luxury learning. Get the tea on building a scalable, investor-ready business from the world's most accessible women-focused business funding organization.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flourish Media Podcast. This is Vivian Olodun and Dr. Tracy Timberlake. And this season, we want to talk to you all about the Flourish Media Conference, which is our signature event and the backbone of our investor readiness programming for Behind the Leaf.
Yeah. And first of all, season 2. Shout out for season 2 of the podcast. We made it through a whole season. But the conference is something that a lot of people do ask the most questions about because I think it is the biggest opportunity for a lot of women who've never experienced something like this.
Oh, yes, for sure. I mean, we've been highlighted in Forbes for raising $15 million to invest into businesses that are owned and operated by women. And people are always asking, how did that come about? But I think the meat of what we want to talk about this entire season is what you can expect as participating with the Flourish Media Conference and how you can prepare to walk away with investment and partnerships.
And one of those expectations, we want to set that right off the bat, is it being an anti-bro situation.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that Vivian and I have both been very passionate about because I think there's a lot of men in the space. There's a lot of masculine ways that things are done, and we decided that we wanted to do things a little bit differently for our demographic, for our audience, and even for ourselves. Like we're very much anti-bro when it comes to business and business dealings.
So what do we mean by anti-bro? Well, if you're thinking about different funding and finance conversations, conferences, gatherings, typically you're attending in full business attire.
Right.
Typically you are very much on time. You're coming with your business cards. You're coming with different executive summaries, but you're also coming with a very hunter kind of mentality. And when it comes to the Flourish Media Conference and this matchmaking that you're doing, we really want you to embrace who you are as a person and to understand that this is a farming situation.
Yes.
You are nurturing the relationship.
Nurturing. It goes very much with Flourish, right?
Yeah.
And this is very collaborative versus coming, I'm getting something from you, I want this, I want that, and this hunter-gatherer situation that Vivian was talking about. It is not a dog-eat-dog world in the Flourish Media tribe. It's not only one person wins. It's everybody can win. But the ones who win the best are the ones who do show up authentically in themselves with their story, standing on that business.
So speaking of your story, Flourish Media is backed by Behind the Leaf and our Diversity Trust Limited, which are all in the philanthropic space. But your relationships that you're building are not that. This is not philanthropy. These investors, the funders that are coming, they want to invest in a business that is going to give them a return on their investment.
They are investors.
Yeah, they're investors. They're there to make money for you and them. And so when it comes to developing your story and talking about your origin story, when you do your pitch and when you're in conversation over the 2 days, this is not a place for sob stories, you all.
No, they don't want that. I mean, they want to hear the background. Like, they do want to hear kind of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of life. But it's not, this isn't American Idol. Like, whoever has the worst story gets to be on the TV. Like, that's not it. Yeah.
No, we need you to come confident. Okay, sis, brag on yourself. Talk about the successes that you've had. If you're talking about a brand new business that you're going to be discussing at the Flourish Media Conference, then talk about the previous success you've had.
Right.
How many times, Dr. Tracy, do we talk to people and they behave like they're just amateurs, like just starting from nothing?
I know, and that's not real. Like, we're like, that's not real. You have years and years of experience. And quite frankly, when it comes to the investors, they're not going to want to invest in somebody who's starting from nothing because they need to know that you know how to build a business. And that includes some of the ups and downs, that you've gone through over the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years.
Yes.
So they do want to hear some of that, but they don't want to hear like, I just had an idea yesterday and now I'm asking for $5 million.
Girl, there was an amazing business just last year, Tame the Storm. They are a beauty product, and they're based on turmeric and all different types of things.
Soaps and things.
So good, so amazing. And it was a couple that came together and they were pitching their business, and they were very honest about the trials that they had during the pandemic because of logistics and the fact that they weren't able to get the turmeric and the materials for their business. And while they were operating a 6-figure business, there was portions of the year where things didn't go well. That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
We don't want to pretend like everything's good all the time, but we don't don't want to come in and say, well, please help me because I've been through X, Y, and Z. This particular community is full of women, minority backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, and we grown women. We grown women. Okay. And so I understand and I recognize that when they look like us, a lot of times people believe or they put in their mind that these are all brand new businesses,
right?
That they are startup businesses,
right?
And that they are needing a lot of hand holding. And that's actually not the case.
Most of the time it's not, which is good.
Yeah.
That's good because then an investor can entrust you with large sums of money because they recognize, oh, you do have the experience to back up what you're saying. So if you're asking for, $2 million, that $2 million is going to be in good hands when you know how to grow and scale what you've done previously when you didn't have the $2 million. Yeah. So it's actually very attractive when you can say, oh, yeah, I was able to grow my business even through the pandemic. There were some ups, there were some downs, but we were able to navigate it. We were able to pivot. We were able to course correct so that we could still be profitable on the other side.
Yes, and I think it's important to note that when you are talking about your work history, you need to also talk about the experience that you've had in corporate America. We have women in our community who are veterans. They've been in the military. They've been in nursing. They've been in education for many, many years. And you're bringing a wealth of knowledge to this new business, this new venture, because of the previous experience that you've had.
Right.
So when it comes to being able to grow your business, when you're preparing for this anti-bro funding conference, it's also important to know, well, how much money do you actually need?
And that's really important because our investors are professionals in their fields. And we have investors who come from many different backgrounds, real estate, technology, cannabis, like investors who really have invested a large sum of money in these industries, so they know them very well. If you are trying to pitch to an investor, let's say in real estate, and you tell them you need $800,000, but really on paper you're really going to need 1.5. They're going to know that, and it's going to seem fraudulent. It's going to seem like either fraudulent or you don't know what you're doing, and then they're not going to invest because it goes back to that trust conversation. Yeah. If they can't trust you with a large sum of money because they don't know that you know how to actually manage it, they're not going to give it to you.
Yes, and that really goes back to the brag on yourself portion of the conversation, is that these investors are trusting you with their money because you're supposed to be the expert in your particular business. Right. They might have some idea, they might have previous experience, but you're the expert. So none of this, my little business, none of this actually, none of this, oh, I think. No, honey, you need to know. You should know for sure. Sir or ma'am, I need $1.5 million because I'm going to invest it here, here, and here. Based on my previous experience, I have spent on this, this, and this. And so I know when I scale that times 3 or times 4, I'm going to need X amount of money. Yep. And you can expect to get it back in 5 years, and 10 years, and 30 years. Be honest. Give what you know. And if you don't know something, just say you don't know it.
And that's okay too, because some of it is going to be a growth curve. Like you're going to have to learn how to manage differently, especially if you're getting some of this funding because you're looking to expand in teams or you're looking to expand in capacity with when it comes to, let's say, equipment, right? So there's going to be a learning curve, and I think that they understand that part. Yeah. But you do have to come confident in the knowledge of your own industry because that's what's going to help you get some of those funds.
Exactly. Now let's talk a little bit about the fact that, y'all, this is not a finance conference.
It's not a finance conference.
This is a time to have a good time.
Yes.
I don't know how much you all may know about marketing, but we operate Flourish Media together, and we're a marketing agency. So we're constantly having the conversation about the know, like, and trust factor. And so they will know you because we do our due diligence to make sure that everybody has an opportunity. We have breaks inside of our agenda.
Lots of them.
Yeah, so that you can talk to one another, get to know one another. That's the know. Then the like happens in time. But that trust happens by you having the understanding of your business, which we know you'll have. The like factor. Come with the intention of having a good time.
Yeah, really and truly. Yeah, there's usually some sort of food vendor that's around, some drinks sometimes, and also there's people who are just like you, that look like you, have been through similar things than you. They have experience just like you have experience. And there's a lot of stories that can be swapped just by shaking people's hands and getting to know people. It's not a networking event per se. Like we're not like, but because of the nature of what we do and the nature of the kinds of people that are in the room, you're going to want to network with them.
Exactly. So come comfortable, come representing your brand, whatever you would wear to service your clients and customers, that's what I suggest that you wear. Definitely come ready to be on camera, honey, because we take so many pictures. There's lots of video. We were just highlighted on NBC for the conference, and so the B-roll and all of the different things that we capture, please know that people are going to see it over and over and over again for many, many years to come. So come ready to have a really good time. You know, we understand that talking about money, that asking for investment, that trusting other people, learning how to scale, it's very head heavy, and you're experiencing new things and new information, but we try and do it in the most absolute fun environment.
Yeah, because who wants to be in a stuffy environment?
Leave we don't that to the men, honey.
Right, and we don't. We generally as women don't live like that.
No.
Like, you know, in your everyday life. At least I hope you don't. Like we generally do not live like that.
Yeah.
So we really want the conference and the environment of the conference to be reflective of just who we are as women in life.
Yes, indeed. And so this is our episode 1. Congratulations, Dr. Tracy.
Season 2, episode 1.
Anti-Bro Conference.
Yes.
Flourish Media Conference. You can find out more information, flourishmediaconference.com. If you want to follow us on social media, we are at Flourish Media Co. on all the things. Make sure that you subscribe, tell others about it, and share it.
Yes. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Behind the Leaf. Never miss an episode, and subscribe to the official Flourish Media podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. If this podcast sparked your curiosity or made you think of a fellow creative who could really use these gems, share it and help them flourish too.